Trying to navigate what life should look like as a loved one ages might seem far off, or maybe it's not, but that work seems insurmountable. No matter where a family is right now, there is help available through CarePatrol. The organization is here to walk alongside families to help them find a place that makes sense physically, emotionally, and financially. Audrey Berg, she is a care transition manager. She is doing that work every day. Audrey, thanks for being here with us.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So let's talk about CarePatrol and all of the services that you provide for families.
Yes, a very multi-dynamic approach that we take with CarePatrol. It is not a one-size-fits-all for any transition of care. We help with transitions of care at no cost into independent living, assisted living, and memory care. We can also help bring the private duty home care into the home or into an independent living community that we help them transition to, or maybe they're already living there.
Okay, perfect. So a multitude of different things, no matter what a family is looking for. Let's talk a little bit about your background and why you love doing this work.
Yeah, good question. I definitely feel like this was a God calling for me personally. My background is in physical therapy, so there is a lot of correlation I'm seeing now. But clinical hat on, I would always just see the diagnosis and try to treat the diagnosis. But as we all know, in the discharge planning process with physical therapy alone, in skilled nursing specifically was my area, there are so many other aspects that you talked about earlier, the social, emotional, financial. Those are very important holistically to make sure that the discharge is appropriate on all levels. So I take it very seriously. I love what I do.
Absolutely. And for a family to think about all of those different things, you guys know all of these. You are familiar with all of these different facilities and what they do and how they work. And a family is usually going in blind.
Right.
And let's talk about how this can be a really good part of what a continuum of care looks like.
Yes, that's a great point.
Yeah.
The continuum of care is basically starting with the most independence possible in a safe manner. We all want independence. It's for our quality of life, and we want that for our loved ones. But as we age or some of our diagnoses exacerbate over time, we may need a little bit of love in certain areas, and we can't always pinpoint what those would be at that time. So it's very important to us to pair up the individual with that appropriate setting at the time, but then also make sure that there's ability to age in place.
Yeah, and talk too about that relationship, because CarePatrol doesn't end once that person is placed. You stay with them because it is constantly evolving.
Right, that's a great point. We do follow everybody to end of life, so we are working with individuals for very, very many years. I have quite a few families that from a few years ago that they call, and sometimes it's, let me share this video, mom's walking again. Or things have changed and we need to pivot and bring some care into where they're at. Occasionally it is a crisis moment. I do get quite a few of those with my background in physical therapy, so a lot of times families will be in the skilled nursing, they will have a very short stay, or know that their stay will be short, a week or two at most usually. And then they are calling and explaining, hey, we need to start touring right now. We need to start looking at what's available, but what's the best fit for now and progressively for mom or dad.
Wow. And that's a lot. That's a lot to be carrying around for a family. So in your expertise, when should a family start these discussions? Probably sooner than 2 weeks out where we need somewhere, now.
Yes, it's never too soon to start. I do have quite a few families lately that are taking the proactive approach, so mom and dad can be a part of the decision making. So I'm seeing a lot of younger clients. Most of the criteria in the state of Michigan is 55 years old and older for most of the licensed communities. There are age waivers if there's a diagnosis that would render a little bit younger than that, and that's okay. We can work with that scenario as well. But starting as soon as possible is very important, so before they do encounter an adverse reaction or an adverse event, that they can have some say. And we have that all in our system. We know, we have all the notes saved for when that time does come of what they would prefer.
That is such great advice, right? Let the people who are going to be going to these facilities have some say in what they want and what they're looking for. Anything else that we need? Well, but besides, let's also note that this is completely free to the families.
Yes.
This service is free.
Yes,
Yeah.
it is. Yeah, that's very important. That would be probably the most important segue for mom and dad usually is
Sure.
CarePatrol is no cost. We really do have your interest at your best heart. We want everybody to do well, and we want it to be individualized for what you need. So
Perfect. And as she said, starting earlier is probably a better idea. So why not get on the phone, give CarePatrol a call, or get online. Learn more about all the services they provide. CarePatrol.com/WMCR. Or again, give them a call, 616-773-2085.